We're in the record room in the commercial Limerick, and I'm joined by Dylan Flynn and the Dead Poets. But look, I want to do name by name, so we're going to start obviously with you. So you're going to say your name and what you do in the band.
Okay, so I'm Dylan Flynn. I'm the lead singer and guitar player.
My name's Keegan Ford. I play a bit of lead guitar and rhythm guitar and harmonies.
My name's Chris Britton. I play saxophone and keys.
My name is George Brobank and I play bass.
My name's Gavin Murray and I play drums.
And there you have it. I was reading up a little bit about it, but for those who don't know, tell us how you all came together.
So, like when we, I was in another band, a Limerick band called Monday Villains first, and that kind of broke up. And started going to college and didn't play any music for like a year. And then when I came into the music tech course, I met all these guys and started off with just Keegan and Gavin at the start, and we were a three-piece. And kind of went from there, released a couple of songs under just my own name, Dylan Flynn, and then met George, brought George in on bass then, so it was a four-piece. And then last summer we brought Chris in on keys and saxophone, and at that stage there was 5 people in the band, and we were still going under my own name, and it felt like more of a band at that time rather than a solo project, which we wanted to start off as. So we decided we kind of wanted a name to like make it a band, so we decided to go with Dylan Flynn and the Dead Poets, and that's we're all in LIT and music technology, and kind of that's been kind of the combining force for all of us, like just where we all met and we all have similar interests, and I think we've all bounced off each other we all have different backgrounds in music and stuff like that, and I think that shows in the songs and stuff like that. So
Explain Dead Poets to me.
So my middle name is Thomas, and I went under Dylan Thomas for a small bit. So when we were transitioning over, I was like, what's something that kind of relates to the band but isn't like that obvious? So we said Dylan Flynn, the Dead Poets, because Dylan Thomas. I'm named after the dead poet, Welsh poet Dylan Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's where it came from.
And come here now, lads. Tell me about like being in LIT and then kind of also like music and performing. Like, is it just go hand in hand, or how do you work it? I'm guessing right now you're meant to be in lectures.
They're on strike, so we're all good today.
They're on strike?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All down the picket line.
Aren't you not out striking with them?
No. Too busy here, like.
Oh, so tell us about your music, 'cause I know you're an indie group, but so tell us about like songwriting and everything, how that all comes about.
Like most of the time I kind of write the song on acoustic guitar, and then I'll bring it to the lads. I might bring it to Keegan first, because Keegan will work out harmonies and stuff like that and work out a bit more of the songwriting, some guitar parts. Then once we've that done, we'll bring it to the rest of the lads, and Gavin actually records and mixes all our stuff. So like if we have a demo and stuff, we'll bring it to Gavin first, work on the demo, and then start layering parts over it. And like we have a lot of songs that we haven't recorded, but I feel once we record a song, it kind of solidifies all the parts and kind of comes across in the live show. Like the last 4 tracks that we released on the EP, we've been playing them live for the last year and a bit, but there's all these new parts and all these extra things that, like, especially with Chris coming into the band, because he's adding 2 other elements with keys and the saxophone. You know, when we went into record, we were like, oh, we've all these other options than just 2 guitars, a bass and drums, which is what we were tied to before. So now that we have the option of having the computer there, we can have any sound we want. It really kind of opened up our sound to a load of new options, I suppose.
Do you have studio space in LIT you can use?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
A bad one. A bad studio.
Yeah, but like, you know, we make the best of what we have. Like recently, they got a load of money to buy new equipment and stuff like that. So we've been making good use of that.
It's good for demos, like.
It is. It's really good for demos, and like we record, mix, and produce most of all the stuff we do ourselves. So the fact that we have that space and we know how to use it, it means that we can work on tracks all the time. Like so.
So then, are you kind of like? Do you have to like almost pre-book it and stuff?
Yeah.
Is there a bit of a fight there, trying to get in time, or how is it?
A small bit. Like we're pretty close with the lecturers now that they're nearly our friends, and even if we have class time that we'd be in the studios, they'll allow us work on our own stuff in class, because it's still beneficial for the rest of the class to work on a real life situation with a band and stuff like that. So, and you know, there's always time you can work around it. Like they're open till 7 in the evening, so we're not restricted to just college time and stuff. So, yeah, which is great. So
How do you find the Limerick music scene?
good. Like we're only talking there, like it's thriving at the moment. Like there's so many collectives. Like we're part of the Bit Dev collective. Like that we set up, we run gigs here once a month, and like you've got DIY LK, and you've got Prescription Music, and you've got like the Limerick Noise Collective and Unseen and stuff like that. So there's loads of collectives doing loads of stuff at the moment, and there's so many different genres as well. And I think like I was in music tech or music generation when I was younger, and a lot of the acts now coming up, like you got like Laura Duff and you got Citrus Fresh in the rapping scene. and you've got Pow Pig and stuff like that. Like they're all artists that came out of Music Generation, and like that was 6 or 7 years ago when I was taking part in that. But to now see that next crop of artists coming up now and making waves in the Irish music industry, never mind just the Limerick one, it's great to see that Limerick is actually making a dent in the market. So.
Well, actually, the Limerick Rebrand did a great thing with Music Generation, and they had Denise Shyla, they had Michelle Grimes, and God knows, and it was a mixture of so many different genres, but everyone was on their feet dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was great to see.
It is, and like Denise, you said it yourself, like she's getting loads of press at the moment, with her last releases and stuff like that. Like the Guardian's talking about her and all the music blogs. Like there's a bit of buzz around her at the moment, which is great for Limerick, and especially the hip hop scene. Like there's always stuff going on, and Hazy Haze as well. Like his last album, really seemed to kind of blow up. So the scene is really good at the moment.
So what is next for you guys?
Well, we've got a couple of more music videos at the moment. So like we've released 2, and we're going to do a music video for each track. So we've that coming out next month, and then we'll finish the last one, and that'll be coming out the month after, and then kind of back into the writing mode and kind of go under the radar for a while. We've got something big planned in April that we can't announce just yet, but yeah, no, we have some stuff coming up.
What are we plans over the summer? Like, will it be a case of just kind of music, or like
we've
college, so?
we've applied for a few festivals, so we're waiting to hear back on that. So hopefully we'll have a bit of a festival run, and then we'll be working on tunes all the time as well, because that was when we worked on most of the last EP, was during the summer, me and Gavin meeting up over the summer and stuff like that, because we do have that spare time, and like college does kind of get in the way sometimes, especially when you got a lot of projects coming up at once. It is hard to find the time to work on music, but I think the summer now will really allow us to work on some new material and get a new live set together. So
deadly. Well, tell us about social media handles. Where can we find you?
So on Instagram it's Dylan Flynn Dead Poets. On Twitter it's Dylan Flynn Dead Poets, and Dylan Flynn the Dead Poets on Facebook as well. So, and if you want to see our Spotify, our EP, and our last 2 singles from last year, they're all up there. So
any upcoming gigs we can?
No, nothing. I can't announce anything yet, but in April, just keep an eye out for what's coming in April. Yeah, exactly.
Tell us about the track you're going to perform first.
The track we're going to perform is a song called Wait. It's the song we just released the music video for a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, it's a song that I wrote about 2 years ago, kind of about trying to hold on to something that you have no real control over. And the music video that we made, I think, really emphasizes that point, and kind of acts as an extra story to add. Sometimes I like when the music video is an extension of the story rather than just a separate entity, and I think we achieved that with our most recent video. So.
Well, everyone loves video content these days.
Exactly,
Content. Dylan Flynn and Dead Poets, thank you so much for chatting to us.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Cheers.